Hey, we would like to welcome you to another edition of Top 10.
Let's go.
We've done Pastor Vaughn's, we've done mine, but of course Pastor Trey has to be different. He's not doing a Top 10 this time. He's doing a Top 9.
First of all, I don't have to be different. Today just happened to be May 4th, which, by the way, may the 4th be with you.
Reject.
Let's go.
There's only 9 Star Wars movies. So it has to be like that.
Okay.
So.
Oh, I'll give you that.
I appreciate it.
So
you could have prophetically
spoke
the 10th into existence.
Come on.
Okay.
Well, we're going to do Star Wars Top 9. I'm really interested in these. Pastor Trey is a huge Star Wars fan.
Yep.
So we're going to kick it off, and we'll provide some commentary here and there, but we'll let you carry this, Pastor Trey. You've got him down. Let's go with number 9.
I appreciate it, Joel. And I know that with all these top 10s that we've done, here's what we do. We open ourselves up to,
Criticism.
some backlash. Yes, absolutely. And I'm okay with it.
So get ready for it.
No, I'm ready for it. I stand by my top 9, though. Coming in at number 9, it is, I think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, everybody's last one, Episode 8. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, it came out, and when everybody left the movie theater, we were all thinking, what in the world was that?
It was like one of those boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, like, there were some cool visuals. That's because Disney put millions and millions of dollars into it, and there better be some cool visuals, but the storyline was just ridiculous. So that was my least favorite Star Wars episode.
And you didn't like Luke walking out and just getting blasted by everything they had to offer?
I didn't like the fact that he wasn't even there. Like, he was on another planet just floating, and then he just vanishes. So I'm like, okay, you know what? That's an absolutely terrible ending for his arc.
I'll give you that.
It really made the whole thing unfortunate.
It is. Hey, and moving on to number 8, we have episode number 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
This is my number 8. I know. There's going to be
This is shocking.
I know. And to some of the younger generation watching, and you're like, this was like my favorite episode ever, or to some of our people here who think episode 9 is the greatest episode ever. I feel differently. I feel like episode 9 completely undermined the fact of Anakin's redemptive narrative. He went from the chosen one to bring balance to the Force. He did so in episode 6 whenever he threw Emperor Palpatine off the balcony, killed him, therefore coming back to the light. Well, turns out he's not dead, so what the world was Anakin doing in the first place? Like, why even have him do that? Didn't really make sense to me. So that is my reasoning for episode 9 being number 8.
I don't know if I'd put it that low on mine, but I do see your reasoning.
All right, and moving on to number 7 is actually episode number 7. Episode number 7. Again, here's my reasoning. I think its name is Finn.
Yes.
Finn grabs a lightsaber and holds his own against Kylo Ren, a guy who's had no training, a guy who has never held a lightsaber in the first place, versus a guy who is being trained to be the next Sith Lord and hold his own. Yeah, right.
So I think what I'm getting from this is one person made the difference in that whole movie for you.
Actually, there was a couple scenes, but like that was just an example.
You missed my spiritual connection that I was... Oh, never mind.
Oh.
No, let's hear it. Hey, moving on to number 6. Episode number 4, A New Hope. I know, this is where Joel starts to get a little, what's the word?
Yes, it's like
heartbroken.
It's like right here on my shirt. It's like displayed on there.
Yeah, episode 4 to me just was not great. It's just, I don't know. It was maybe just because I like good production value, but then that would negate why 7, 8, 9 were the way they were. But I was not a fan of number 4. Just wasn't a fan of it.
It was slow at the beginning. I will admit that.
Yeah, and the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, I mean,
it's like over in like 10 seconds.
Done. So that's my reasoning for episode 4 being exactly where it is on the top 9. Moving on to number 5, episode number 1. Episode number 1. Now, I will say this. The only reason that 1 beat out episode 4 is because of Darth Maul.
Yes.
I thought Darth Maul was one of the coolest characters to ever exist in Star Wars world, and that is why he just beat out episode number 4. So...
And his lightsaber is like, I think, the best.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the dual.
Yeah.
They didn't have him on there that long, though. He was only on there for like 3 minutes, it felt like.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Clone Wars, spoiler alert, Clone Wars, the cartoon series, he doesn't die. He actually, because he hates Obi-Wan so much, lives and makes
Has
it
like
back.
mechanical legs or
Yeah, it's
something.
really cool.
Yeah.
Watch the cartoon Clone
Gotta
Wars.
love the spoilers.
Yeah.
Gotta love them.
In fact, the season finale just happened today, so go check it out. It is amazing. It's on Disney Plus.
In fact, at the end of the season finale, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't.
Just kidding.
Hey, listen. Moving on to number 4. Number 4, episode number 6, Return of the Jedi.
This is probably the most popular of them all, right?
This is one of the most popular, and again, this is top 4. Like,
yeah.
probably the next 3 in the top 4, like 4, 3, and 2. To me, I'm willing to be talked to interchanging them.
Yeah.
That's just where I'm at on it.
But it can never be number one?
No, it
Okay.
could never be number 1.
Gotcha.
What was the name of that giant like monster that Jabba had? I can't even think of like a
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Ragna something.
Yeah, Mason Woods could tell you like that, but I cannot.
I had one of those
Shout
as
out
a
to Mason
toy.
Woods.
Yeah.
I would play with that little giant monster in my backyard all the time. I thought it was the coolest thing.
I have no idea.
His mouth could move.
Yeah, it was
pretty-
ridiculous. Little tentacles everywhere.
Moving on.
I loved it. I loved the scene where Darth Vader picks up Palpatine, throws him in the thing, which is how it should have ended, but apparently not. But episode 6, loved the movie, incredible. Moving on to number 3.
Now, Pastor Trey, before we get to number 3,
Ooh, a little spin-off
a little
questionnaire.
spin-off
I love it.
question. If you could, like, as you're watching these, which character were you like, that's who I wanted to be?
Yeah.
Because we all watch these movies and we think, I want to be that guy.
Always
Who
Anakin
was it for you?
Skywalker.
Really?
Always Anakin Skywalker. I loved him. Thought he was the best person ever. Now, I think here's why. Because I grew up in age with him. Like, when episode 1 came out, I was like 6 years old. He was like 6 years old. And then as he grew up, I was
Makes
growing
sense.
up, and I was like, you know, it's like Toy Story. Like, I felt like Andy my whole life. You know?
But isn't there like a criteria though? Like, I mean, without knowing whether or not the character is going to survive from one episode to another.
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't that be like we want to live, right? So,
Right.
Mm.
Right.
You know, I mean, you got to choose wisely.
And I feel like I would, because I feel like if I was Anakin, I would not do what I did or what he did later on. But again, that goes down to another spiritual question. If I was Adam, would I have been able to resist the fruit? You just never know.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on to.
Do you like sand?
I hate sand, actually. You know what, fun fact, I don't like going to the beach because I actually don't like sand. Like, I really don't like
There
it.
you
It's
go.
annoying. It gets everywhere, and it's, in his words, it's coarse.
It's coarse.
Anyways,
Anakin.
moving on to number 3, episode number 2. Now, one of the most hated on films of the whole Star Wars saga is number 2. Because of Anakin's whiny attitude. You know, his thing's like, I slaughtered them, you know, type of a thing. Or, I don't know. But, or his weird scene with Padme on Naboo, their weird love thing. Where
Is
he,
that where they had the picnic out? And is that
yeah,
the
it was
picnic?
a little weird.
He gets run over by an animal. She thinks he's dead or something.
Yeah, and he like force pushes a pear to her.
Yes,
It's really
yes.
weird,
He cuts
but-
it in half.
Yeah. But episode 2, I liked it because his duel with Count Dooku, you find out how he loses his arm. You introduced to the clones. You find out how the clones came to be about, all that stuff. So to me, a crucial movie in the Star Wars saga. Crucial, absolutely crucial. That's why I love number 2.
Plus, you got, isn't it Yoda does the crazy lightsaber
Yes,
battle
with
on
Count
2?
Dooku,
That's
very
right.
good.
That's right.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then moving on to number 2, now you're going to like this one. Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Episode, actually that's wrong. It should not be episode number 2. It should be episode number 5. But at number 2, yes, at number 2, episode number 5, the whole I am your father, the whole scene on Hoth,
I am your
the winter
father.
planet,
Yes.
one of my favorite things of all time.
Love this one.
And Luke training on Dagobah with Yoda. Whenever he sees fake Darth Vader, cuts his head off, masks explode, Luke's inside the helmet.
Yes.
Mind blowing. I didn't know what was
I had
happening.
nightmares about that.
Yes. And when Luke's hanging upside down from the sky world, and he's like, Leia, Luke, Leia, Luke, we got to turn back. What?
They catch him right in time.
Absolutely. Hey, moving on. Number 1.
Here we
Number
go,
1
baby.
Star Wars movie of all time, according to
Number
me.
1.
Episode number 3, Revenge of the Sith. To me,
Really?
there's no greater Star Wars movie. I remember going to the theater. My dad actually checked me out of school early to go see this movie. We left school early. We went straight to the movie theaters with a couple of my friends, and we sat there. And I remember that's like the first time in Star Wars world where I was like, I like feel like I'm in the movie, like I'm experiencing this. It's like one of those things, especially when Anakin and Obi-Wan, or all of Order 66, just absolutely heartbreaking. Episode number 3 is my absolute all-time favorite.
Did Palpatine like transforming into did that part scare you at that age?
Oh, it
was
did.
it like,
was
I
scarring
can't look?
because he was scarred, I was scarred. It was absolutely ridiculous. Now, Vaughn, I have a question for you. Have you seen any of the Star Wars movies?
See, what had happened was,
Oh, here we go. Confessional.
no.
You have not seen any of the Star Wars movies. All right, well,
I've
Oh.
seen bits and pieces of 1
okay.
through 5. I'm talking about, so it
Yeah.
was like a moment in time that.
Okay.
But I will tell you this: I am feeling very inclined to, after this whole rundown. See, if I would have had your commentary prior to, I would have probably been more interested.
Yeah, so this whole thing, to me, here's why I love Star Wars. It's because, and this is why I don't like 7, 8, and 9. I love 1 through 6. Here's why. This whole redemptive narrative of Anakin Skywalker. You know, as you can see in episodes 1, 2, and 3, a lot of the Jedi Council don't like him. Mace Windu does not like him.
Oh.
They don't trust him. And if he's supposed to be the chosen one, he's supposed to be trusted. Palpatine, who we now know as the Dark Lord, becomes his best friend, his mentor. Anakin gets married, which you're not supposed to. Ends up becoming a father, which you're not supposed to if you're part of the Jedi. And he's like, I'm supposed to ignore these feelings, blah, blah, blah. He falls, and then 4, 5, and 6, he rises back up to this big redemptive narrative moment, which I think you'll like based off of your top 10 movies.
Yes.
Redemptive narrative moments.
All of
Yes. Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, because Darth Vader didn't redeem him.
Anakin.
Came out, redeemed the whole thing, and that's why I love it. So, spoiler alert, episode 3 does not have a happy ending. If you're looking for a happy ending in episode 3, it does not happen.
No, but if you've ever seen Michael Parson and Mason Woods do the reenactment of the end of episode 3,
Just as good.
it's impressive. Go to our Instagram. It's on there, I believe. You got to check it out.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it was
neat. If
right-
not, we'll repost it.
It was right beside a bonfire, which almost looked just like Mustafar in episode 3. So,
Yeah.
Impressive.
yes, this has been my Star Wars top 9.
Hey, give it up for the Star Wars top 9.
I'm open
Comment
for-
below your feedback,
I'm
your
open for criticism,
accolades.
but I stand by it.
That's pretty helpful.
So we may have gained a new Star Wars
Yeah.
fan right here
That's right.
in Pastor Vaughn.
Star Wars and Star Trek. I'm on it.
There you go.
Hey,
You
so-
gotta become a major nerd.
Hey, so students, that is the Star Wars top 9. Check it out. Share this with your friends. Give us your feedback, and may the Force be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Hey.
Hey.